last question that you asked?
I said, how does one get to heaven?
What did Jesus say?
I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one can get to the Father except through me.
That's a good one. I think it's more of, instead of getting to heaven, that's important, but how to be pleasing to Jehovah and Jesus, right? Isn't that more important? That's more important than our salvation is praising God, right? So, and we live our lives, we try, even though being imperfect, how to live in harmony with that. When you talked about getting to heaven, it's more so a point of how to be pleasing to Jehovah. To me, like, how can I be pleasing to Jehovah to make his heart rejoice?
Does that not mean it's works-based? Because doesn't that infer that you'd have to work or do certain things to make him happy or pleased with us? Because that would be like disregarding the whole point of how we get to heaven, which is through salvation. Faith without works is dead. But that's just insinuating that you can do good deeds and you can do works, but without faith, it's pointless. And so faith should be the foundation, the substance of what will get you there. And that's not disregarding the law. That's not disregarding the rules. It's about submitting to him and making him the Lord of your life. So it goes hand in hand. But yeah, that's why it kind of struck me when you were like, you know, it's about living a life pleasing to him more than salvation.
Well, it is about a salvation. I didn't say it wasn't, right?
No, but you said it's more about.
I'm sorry.
You said, wouldn't it be more about
I think more
living a life pleasing to him than getting to heaven?
Let me clarify.
Okay.
The heart. Like, there's friends out here that they could come out in the ministry every day, right? And they love Jehovah. But there's a little sister at home that can't even get out of the ministry. She can't even do anything. But you know what? Her worship is just as pleasing as somebody who does all of these works. Because why? Why do you think?
Then I would ask that person that's doing this volunteer work and doing all these good deeds and things like that, do they also have that same personal relationship with Christ as the woman who's at home and can't go out and do all these things? Because that person who's going out and doing all these works and doing all these good deeds and doing all these things, it says in the Bible, you know, like they'll come in my name saying I did this and I did that, but depart from me for I never knew you. So your question was, would that person who's homebound be looked at in the same eyes?
Same value.
And my answer would be no, because the person at home is more catering towards their relationship with Christ and one-on-one with God. But the person who's out and doing things, the answer that I was hoping you would say when I asked you how do you get to heaven is salvation in Christ, that Jesus Christ died and rose again, and through him doing that, there's nothing we could do, there's nothing we could work for, there's no action we could honestly take as humans that would work us to get up there. There's nothing that we could do, like living a life pleasing to the Lord, like that comes with it after the faith, but it's only by faith in Jesus Christ that we get there. That's where I found the fallacy. I have a bunch of other questions, but that was the one thing that I was just like, I do agree with you that you have to read the Bible in context. You don't just read one verse, you have to read before and after to get the full depth and meaning of it.